Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to the channel. So today I'm going to show you how we can load data from external stage to the Snowflake tables. So while doing that, we will also go through the concept of external stage, Azure Storage Integration, Azure Consent Authorization, and Azure Multi-Tenant App Registration. Okay, uh, so let's quickly jump into our Azure portal and Snowsite websites. Okay, so this is my Snowsite website, and these are the objects that I have. A couple of databases I had originally with the Snowflake subscription. So this is account that I have created like on my account name, and I am using a account admin role in order to do the creations and executions, because there are some tasks that we need to execute, for which we need to have the account admin rights. So not to interrupt just not to have any interruption in the video, so I'm using like account admin role for now. Also, I have created a database, that is SnowDB, from my side, just to keep this tutorial specific to this particular DB. So under this DB, it's like under this DB I have multiple schemas. Couple of them we will have by default, like information schema and public. I have created like some others, that is snow consumption, snow land, snow stage, snow trans. So these may vary based on the use cases and how we want to set up our process for Snowflake. Okay, so as of now we will consider snow land. Okay, and also I have created a warehouse which would be required, that is a warehouse named as Snowflake POC. So this will be utilized for running the queries, because Snowflake would require some capacity and memory while doing executions, right? So we need to spin up a warehouse with a capacity. So I went and just got a smallest compute power so that I can save some credits. So let me select that. Yeah, so what we will do is, so about our use case is to get or read data from our storage account. It could be like Azure, it could be AWS, it could be Google. So today I'm just making a video on Azure. Might be like in coming days I will create one on AWS S3 bucket. So here you see I have a sample dataset for customers. So I need to load this sample dataset into my Snowflake tables. Okay, and this data you can get from internet, or you can get it from the Kaggle website. So now first step would be to see how the file looks. Let's open this file. So this is how the file looks, and we need to define a metadata in our database under a specific schema. So now let's go into my Snowflake subscription and just select my specific database. So by default public will be selected. We can change this to any of the databases, the custom databases or schemas that we have created. So here I will select land, that is landing sort of. Now first thing what I will do is I will create a table. Create table customer, and then I will get the names from here and then try to paste it here. It not work, it will not work. Okay, let me just go and transpose this and copy these names and paste it here. Okay, and I will make this as integer, make gender as varchar, for age it will be integer. Income we need to put this in double quotes, otherwise we may end up getting some errors. Okay, since we have a space in between. Okay, and then now let me separate this with commas, and here for this one it's annual income, so I can go with a float data type or a numeric. And this can go with a integer value. Here we can choose a varchar with 50, and here we can choose integer, and finally we can choose integer. Yeah, that's it. So let's try to trigger this and see like what happens. So I think there are some errors, so we need to find out what could be the errors. Okay. So let's put this in check. Yeah, so we were missing the brackets, so let's go down. Let's go and select the table that we have created. Oh, sorry. Okay, so we can see that all columns are created. So our next step would be to create a file format. Create file format, customer CSV format. Okay, and then I will make it as create or replace. So if we have one, it will get replaced. Okay, and then here we need to give a syntax like type is going to be CSV, field delimiter meter is going to be comma, and then is header sorry, skip header header will be 1. Okay, yeah, so that's it. So we can just go ahead and create a file format. So please note, so this is created, so this will be created in database NoDB and under schema Snowland. Okay, and if you want to check it, we can simply go refresh it, just go expand this, expand the land. You will see we have a table created named as customer. Okay, and a file format. You can see there's a file format that we have created. So now next step would be to create a Azure Storage Integration. Okay, so let's try to create that. Create storage integration. It's going to be Azure Storage 2. Okay, so I'm giving just a name as 2 because I have already one. And under this we need to give some parameters, so I need to check those values, so I don't recall that very well. Yeah, So what we can do is, first value that we need to provide while creating storage integration is type. Type will be your external stage as a value. Next would be storage provider. So since we know it is like a Azure data lake, so storage provider is going to be Azure. If it would have been S3 bucket, then it would have been AWS. Then we have Azure Tenant ID. So in order to get the Azure Tenant ID, we need to go to the Azure portal and search with Azure Active Directory, but nowadays the name is changed. It is like Microsoft Extra ID. Okay, so you can just simply select that and you will reach out to the Active Directory page. Just grab this tenant ID from here and put it here, and then ultimately we need to provide the location where we need to do this authorization. Okay, so it will be storage allowed locations. So this one will be having a bracket. Okay, and now we need to provide the location where we want to access. We will go to the data lake, go to the container, expand this, and now this is my path. So what I will do, I will simply I will just go back to the container property, go to the container property, just grab this value, go back here and paste this in single quotes, change this to Azure, and if we had any granular folder structure that we want to target, we can give like this. Let's suppose we have two folders, like let's suppose we had two folders, that is under the container we have two folders like customers or products. Then we can give those values here with a comma. Okay, like slash product, then comma, we will repeat this, and then again we will give slash product. Okay, but in this example we don't need that, so we will select this, and ultimately we can create our storage integration. Let's try to create it. Enabled. Okay, so there is one more value that we need to provide. It is enabled equals to true. So once we give this, and we'll try to run the syntax, so I think there is some syntax issues. Okay, let me just check. Create storage integration. Yeah, it looks to be fine. Let's go here and try to run it again. Yeah, so it's created now. So our Azure storage integration is created. So if you want to check the integrations, we can show integrations, enter. Yeah, so you can see this is the latest integration that we have, that I have just created in this demo, and we have couple of others more. So this one was something that I was creating before the demo, and this is related to Azure Q services notification. This one will be specific to this will be specifically helpful when we are creating the snow pipe in the Snowflake. Okay, and I will be covering this later in the coming sessions. Okay, so this is also quite interesting one. Okay, so for now this is the integration that we should look for, and now we need to register this particular application with Azure Storage. Okay, within the Azure. So what we can do, we will just put this syntax, that is describe integration. My integration name is this one, copy this and this, colon, enter. So you see, these are some of the values that has popped up. Okay, and this is the Azure URL, consent URL, which we need to open and provide a consent from the behalf of the organization. Okay, and this is my multi-tenant app name. Okay, so this is something that we need to uh, add as a blob data contributor on the storage account in order to access the data from there. Okay, but first step would be to authorize the Azure consent URL. So let's select this, copy this, paste it here, just open a new tab. Yeah, so I think it's already registered because I have already registered this. So it will be like a simple process. Okay, so simply we will open this and it will ask for a authorization to accept or decline. So we will simply accept it. So once we accept it, what would happen is, let me go back, select this one, that is multi-tenant app name, and ultimately I will copy this name. So once we approve it, what happens is, we'll go to the enterprise applications and then search with this value. So see, so this particular app will automatically get registered as an enterprise application within Azure. Okay, so now let's move on. Yeah, that's it. Now let's see what we can do. Let's go to our storage account. Let's open this. This is my table. This is already like placed. Let me right click and delete this one. Okay, I will just show you again how we can upload the data. And before that, final step we need to do is, we need to create or replace Sage. Okay, my Azure stage 2, stage 2. Okay, so now we are trying to create a stage, okay, pointing to our storage account and location. So for this we need like couple of values. First is URL type. So let me just quickly check what all values we have. We have storage integration, file, and the file format. Okay, so we have storage integration, that we will be providing the one which we have created here. It's going to be this. Okay, and the URL is the one that we will get from here. You see, if I go back here, this is same as this. Okay, so we can copy this one simply and paste this one in single quotes. So that's it. Just put the semicolon and then automatically our Sage will be created. Okay, so let's trigger it. Like if there is an issue, we can just capture that. My Sage is created. Okay, so now let me access this Sage from the Snowflake workspace. Let me try to select the data and start from my Sage. Okay, so if you write this query, it will not work. Okay, so we need to change our query and we need to refer the data based on the columns. So we may have to refer this with, first thing is at, we need to use a at, and then next would be to provide the column names. How we will refer the column names is with dollar. So if you put $1, $2, it will give me the name of the fields. It's executing. Let's see what we have. Yeah, so as of now we don't have any files available, that's why it's not showing up. Okay, Now one more step that I want to show that I missed is let me just run this one again please, and then go back to this value, okay, and simply go to my data lake and go to access control IAM role and do a role assignment. So I need to do a role assignment, so let me just select storage blob contributor, click next, and then select the members. So my member should be the app that got registered. Let me search for this. I cannot find this one here. Let me just go again, just search it again. This, yeah, so I will select this one and select this here and do this role assignment and make it as a contributor, data contributor. Yeah, so it's already assigned. So simply this is the process that we need to follow in order to assign this role to that particular app. Okay, now let me go back to Snow site. So now when we are running this, we don't see any data, right? So now we are okay. So now what we need to do, we need to go to the data lake and try to upload some files. Okay, so let's go and upload some files. Let me upload this customer file. Upload this. Okay, so once this is uploaded, immediately we will be able to retrieve the data from the stage that we have created, that is referencing to the external stage. Okay, let me trigger it. Yeah, you see it is pulling out the columns, or it is pulling out the data that we need. Okay, and if we put $3, that will also show up. Okay, yeah, and now next step, the final step would be final step. Okay, so our final step would be to create or to pull the data from this referenced external stage to our tables in the Snowflake, in the landing table, and ultimately once it is loaded in the landing table, we can push that into the next layer, that is consumption layer, after applying some joins, after applying business rules. Okay, and that can be wrapped up in a stored procedure or an object that can be called through a task scheduler by creating streams. Okay, so now let's write copy into what was our table name? Yeah, so this is our table name. Copy into this from this one. Okay, and I think we need to provide file format also. Let me just check file format. File format we have defined here. Copy this, paste it here. Now let's try to run and check what happens. Okay, just let me just check the syntax. I think syntax has some issues. Okay, let me just quickly Google the syntax. How to insert, how to copy. second guys, I'm missing something. Okay, let me, I think, yeah, I think I missed this equals to sign, simple thing. Let me just check again. Yeah, see, it's now loaded. We have like 2000 records that got loaded from the external stage into our staging table or our transient table or our landing table. Okay, now let's try to run this table from the Snowflake and check how the data looks. See, so we got whatever data we had in the storage account got loaded into our Snowflake tables. So that's how the magic happens. And also we can make use of Snowpipe that I have shown, like by making use of Azure Storage queue services and making use of Snowflake pipe, we can automatically get this customer table populated as and when we get our data lake files being refreshed. Okay, so I will be covering that later in the coming sessions. Hope you like this. If you have any questions, let me know and put your comments in the chat. Thanks guys, bye bye.